Let's begin with setting up your interactive assessment. I have my course open and I'm going to go into Add Materials and select Add Assessment. The first thing I'll need to do is name my assessment. If you'd like to put a due date, you can put in a due date. That's up to you. The submission is defaulted to disable. This means students will be able to see the assessment but will not be able to take the assessment. You'll want to make sure that you choose Enable. You do have some options if you'd like to enable until, which means once you post the test, it will be visible until the date that you set. The next one is enable from and until. So if you post the assessment and you select this, that means the date that you choose for it to show up is when it will be visible to the students, and it will be disabled after the date that you choose after the until. And then disable means that they just can't access it or take the assessment. I'm going to leave mine on enable as a default. I do not want a password, so I'm going to keep that disabled. I do need to give a category. You can create your own categories in Schoology, and so I've created daily and test here. You can add more if you'd like. I'm going to keep mine on test. It defaults to whatever whatever 6 weeks we're in, and currently we're in the 5th 6 weeks, so I'm going to leave that as the default. And then you have some options with the factor and the numeric option for your scale. You can do numeric or A, B, C, etc. So we'll keep it on numeric. You have additional options here for individually assigned. So if this is only going to specific students, you can publish to students, or if you click this, it won't publish to students. It'll keep it unpublished. Grade statistics disabled. You can enable it, which is good because that's going to show the students and yourself some of the grade reporting that you'll want to monitor. And then you can copy to other courses if you would like. So I'm going to go ahead and create my assessment, and that's just the first step to creating your assessment. Next, we're going to take a look at the setup. You have the option to add in instructions if necessary, and then you have some additional options down here that really help you control what is going on during the assessment. So you have your assessment settings. It has a time limit. Mine currently is at no. If you choose yes, you put in how many minutes you want them to have. And then after that time frame, they will not be able to continue with the test. Assessment questions are randomly ordered. It's defaulted to no. You may want to put yes so that student A is doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Student B is going to see them mixed up. So they might see 1, 5, 3, 2, 4. So that's really a nice option. Show possible points for each question. It's defaulted to yes. If you don't want them to see how many points each question is worth, you can select no. Your toolbar has a lot of different options that you can turn on. Flag questions, eliminate answer choices. Students can use a calculator, a ruler, can use a protractor, so you have those different options. Highlight text and notepad. So the nice thing about this is it aligns really well with what the STAR test will look like in 2023, and this gives your students the opportunity to practice those skills and get more comfortable with online testing. So make those options as you see fit. And then the last option is all students to view results after an attempt is submitted. I prefer no if it's a test because I don't want them to see their results. I don't want them to know how they did and they pass that information on to other students. But if this is an activity where you want them to have immediate feedback, you can change that to yes. And then if you want them to have multiple attempts at this assessment, you can give them multiple attempts, and then you can set it as highest score or last score being the score that they receive. Generally, you'll want the highest score. So I'm going to go back and turn on a couple of these options. There we go. And I'm going to click Save. So that gets you set up to add your questions. So you've set your test up the way you want it to look. The next step is to add your questions.